It says starting and it says live. All right, what up, folks? It's J Main, and I'm with Mikey, sweet Mikey, and
I'm here.
we're here to talk about the chat. I mean, we're here to chat about the draft. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. I'm tired as fuck, but I'm good.
It's 9:30, bro. I mean, bro, we've done PS4 till like fucking like 2, 3 in the morning, just bullshitting, and not even playing a game. So but like honestly, this is nothing. So, but let's get to it. What do you think about Mark Audley, first overall pick to Atlanta?
Well, this whole draft was kind of shit with some bright spots, but
Oh wait, we got Harold. Come on, we got breaking news here.
well, let's
Fucking
just mute him.
Harold just joined.
I muted him.
I no, you don't have to use your video. You can turn that shit off quick though. Oh, okay, all right. He's not gonna join. I see he muted his mic. Anyway, you were going about Ollie in the draft.
Yeah, I thought he was the best pitcher in the draft, pretty much by far, just based on age, upside. His, I like that build too.
Damn, you must be tired tonight, bro. I thought you had a lot more to say about the first overall pick, but
Well,
yeah,
I
no,
mean, I wanted him. Like,
you gotta get some sleep, bro. So we're gonna keep this chat like 5 minutes. No, I like the pick. 16 years old. Obviously, that build's awesome. He's got the high ground ball rate. The only thing I'm concerned about and nitpicking is the high on base average. He's 16. He's 54 overall. So how much of
yeah,
that are you going to put into play? But like, I mean, how much stock are you going to put into that?
that's true. I mean, in this draft, honestly, I didn't even really look at the stats too much.
But I'll tell you, I didn't think there was a clear cut number one. Like I had the fourth overall pick. I had no idea what the first three picks were going to be.
No, and that's
Um,
something about this draft. Like, it, I had said pretty much right as soon as I scouted the draft. Well, I mean, we had talked about it earlier, even when I had scouted the first little bit, that like this draft was going to be extremely top heavy, and I mean that's pretty much like how it shook out. Like there was no clear cut guys like who's going to be number one. There was about 8 guys who were top of the list, and then it's like who knew who was going to go after that. And I think that just goes to show like why you think there was no clear number one, because it could have easily been Monroe,
yeah,
who went
yeah,
to Angels.
I would not have been shocked. Would not have been shocked.
Honestly, I would have taken Monroe number one had I been Atlanta, and and everyone else knows on how much I don't like taking shortstops. But
Yeah, but he reminds everyone, and you're obviously you've had him for a while. Romanus. He looks like, excuse me, he looks exactly like. I'm not sure what his initial build was because I think he was drafted before I came in 2060. But so I haven't had the chance to look at his initial build, but I'm sure it looked very similar to what Monroe looked like with a 60s type contact, a high enough power, to see like, oh, it's gonna rise to 80 plus and Gold Glove defense, and that doesn't really develop. That's just like what you see is what you get type thing. But
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I want to say one of them can go up a smidge, but it's not very much one way or the other, anyways. Like it's next to nothing. Basically, what you see is what you get, and yeah, he looks like he's gonna be
he can win multiple Gold
romance.
Gloves. He can win multiple Gold Gloves, and I told you, before while we were playing video games that I was thinking about taking Monroe, but I also thought that he can go either way. He can be Romanus or he could bust out. But my vote is that he's going to be a really good player for a long time.
I would
Um,
have to agree with that big time.
but yeah, like honestly, I thought he would. I thought he was going to number one, oddly two, or something like that. But it just like I would say after pick 5, the Monroe pick, there was no clear cut. Oh, let's trade up to get this guy pick. After that, it was just a crapshoot, and that showed from pick 6 all the way to the Mr. Relevant pick at 180.
It's Joel Picard, who I picked.
Oh, you had it? Oh, Jim Picard. Let me see this. Let's see, Mr. Picard. Picard.
Yeah, we're gonna skip down to the 6th round for a second here.
Hey, why not? We go to the first overall pick all the way to the Mr. Relevant pick, and he looks, he looked like he'll be in the Japan League in about a year.
Yeah, he's probably going to be shitty, but when you have high power and high eye, even though I don't even like that build, it's like, you know what, I'm just going to pick it and see what happens.
All right, so let's move on to an early storyline of the draft, which was let's call it the Hokie.
Oh yeah,
the Hokie hold up. What did you think of his 2 picks, 2 and 3, Cecil Nation and Pat Takahashi?
Well, I guess we can just.
We're not going to go through all 180 picks, by the way.
No. But talk about the Hokie hold up in a little more in depth. But Cecil Nation here.
Hashtag Hokie hold up.
It's our very own Deflategate here. I like Cecil Nation, but I don't know if I'd want to take him 2 overall. Like, I get his upside. That is some huge ass, Beyonce ass upside. But that, like, you're picking a DH at number 2. And that's with leaving, like, Monroe on the board. Exum on the board, who, like, he looks like he could be an ace. With that said, though, I mean, like I said, with this draft, with the way it was, like, it was hard to go wrong picking in the top, 8 to 10. So I understand the pick. It's just I don't think I wouldn't have went with it myself.
My thoughts about Nation is that he's going to be a good bat, no question. I wouldn't play him in right field, left field, wherever you want to put him.
No. He's a DH.
I would say, I might have said this to you earlier, but I think his comp is a guy who's been traded a bunch of times this season, currently who resides in Colorado.
Oh, Veselowski or whatever his name is.
Greg Veselowski. That's my take at it. Even though Veso has better defense, he could play out there. He could play left field. He's not going to win a Gold Glove, but he's the type of guy who you don't want to put out there. Probably, well, if you're really trying to, put a defensive team out there, you don't want to put him out in left field.
No. If he was a left-handed bat, I would have liked him way better. And that's just because Mogul being Mogul. But.
And quick thoughts on Takahashi?
Looks like somebody needs a link in the chat.
Link in the chat?
Yeah.
I got you.
Texas.
I got you, TT.
Texas Tornado there.
I got you, TT.
Takahashi, I actually didn't like Takahashi originally, but after I looked at him, like, once he got picked, he's not bad, actually. I wish his overall was a little bit lower, or his...
A little more upside?
Yeah, like, a little more upside there, but I don't think it's a bad pick.
No, and it's funny because, like, you said that, and I tend to go for the upside dude. So I quickly wrote off Takahashi. When I was doing the quick whip around of scouting, I saw Takahashi. I saw his 21. I saw he's left-handed. I said, move on, right? And then once he picked him, I was like, oh, shit, he picked Takahashi. Who the fuck is this Takahashi dude, I look, I'm like, oh, you know what? He could be all right. Because the immediate guy I thought about with Takahashi, and I don't know if they'll have the same career or whatever like that, but it was last year's number 1 overall pick, Beltien in Philly. They have the similar build with the similar ground ball type. And, Beltien, who looks like he could be, a pretty successful pitcher, I wouldn't say he'd be a dominant ace, probably a 2 or 3.
I don't even think he will be an ace myself.
But regardless, he will have success or he will be on a major league team very, very soon. And Takahashi could be just that, a guy who could rise in the minor leagues, probably end up in AA to begin, AAA, and then be here in 2 years, be in the major leagues in 2 years. I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
yeah, I mean, I would say he's probably up there by 24. One thing to worry about is that I know this doesn't matter per se, but like his birthday is July 29th, so it's not too far away. Like,
Actually,
is
that's
this
my
guy,
birthday, so that's really not a warning at all. That's my birthday, so there's nothing wrong with that birthday.
is
And he's actually, and to go off on a little bit of a tangent, he went to St. John's, so he's a Queens kid. So you really can't be talking shit about Pat Takahashi, because me and him go way back in Flushing. You know what I mean? So anyway, you don't even know what Flushing is, so
I don't.
like the Toronto Blue Jays and fucking Expos. Shit. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Um, fucking Expos. I never even liked the Expos. Um, but so like you could be looking at a guy who's maybe like an 85 peak at that time, and you got to hope that he goes back up. Otherwise, he could be in some trouble. He might get up in the major leagues quicker than 24.
You
I
think
mean,
he'll peak out at 85? You think he'd peak out at 85 ish? Is that
yeah,
your initial?
hopefully it could. That's kind of the thing with him. Like, I think he would have been better off taking Exum,
You
who's further
mentioned
away.
his name 100 times. I know you think that he's the next Gilmorean.
No, I think he would have been better off taking the guy you picked at
Santana.
no at pick at pick 7,
He's talking about Peltier.
Peltier, because he's further off. His build, while it's not the build I like necessarily, where power is the one that's out front, it's not like it's out front a mile. And to boot with Peltier, his overall is below all of his vitals and that freaking killer fastball. Well, fastball doesn't matter to me in my park, but it does in a lot of other teams.
And I'll jump on Peltier because I actually thought he was actually a guy who I looked at late in the scouting process. But when I saw him, I said he's a hokey power pitcher. I say the hokey GD pitcher in the same light because they both love the power guys, and I kind of like those dudes anyway. But I thought he was the build for Florida. But Takahashi is not a bad pick at all. I mean, I'm not. That's like a value. I guess you can't really say value pick in number 3, but he was like a quote unquote safe pick in my opinion. So I can't hate on. What's up?
Speaking of GD, I'm pretty sure he got autoed this time around. So hopefully, hopefully everything's okay on that front. Anyway, I see he's in the chat actually right now.
You know what? I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of Mike Insaldi, and if that was indeed an auto, which I don't know if it was or not, but
I don't know, but I thought I looked at some of his other picks.
I guess I didn't look at the GD draft as heavy, but
it might not have been him.
It could just be he sent the list.
Oh, yeah, it was. I think he was auto picked because no way is anybody taking shortstop Brian Lanier, second round, 22nd.
You know what? If there's anyone in this world, being the mobile world that we're in, that would pick a shortstop like that, it would actually be GD.
I suppose.
Because I'll know better than you would because I play in this division. He has played shortstops that have crazy offensive abilities and lack of defense, and somehow, some way, he still has a successful team because of his. I would think because of his fly ball pitching staff.
Yeah, that's how he rolls.
He really puts a stock on outfield defense and not really much in infield defense. It works for him.
That's true.
But
Maybe
yeah,
he wasn't.
He did. Yeah, I was gonna say he going on what's his name, Lanier. He could be a really good offensive player, and obviously be below average defensively. But he's not going to have 100 errors in a season. He's just going to have the Derek Jeter type range. Might make people angry, but he might have the Derek Jeter type range. But I don't know. That recipe has worked for GD in the past, where he has used a guy at shortstop, second base, where Mogul will tell you, DH him, but he has put him out there because he has 5 dudes who either give up home runs or when they have outs is at the warning track. So
Yeah, that's fair enough.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I won't jump and say that he got um what's it called, autoed
Autoed.
all all drafts. So um
All right, so now on to the ever dangerous Juan Santana.
Juan Santana will be a fucking monster.
See, I don't like him. I
I
like his
don't
upside.
I don't give a damn. Juan Santana is gonna get a winner ball once. I'm gonna get a +3, and I'm gonna winner ball him again because I'm gonna forget, and he's gonna get a +3, and I'm gonna winner ball him again. He's gonna, but I will winner ball him anyway.
Slip some money over to Andy.
Honestly, I thought Juan Santana. All right, first of all, if I had the first overall pick, because I was trying to make a deal with Stang, and well, actually, fucking Andy made a nickname for them. It was actually pretty good. Shit, do you know what it was?
A nickname. Oh yeah, Stocky.
Stocky, yeah, that's a great name. The Stocky connection. Well, long story short, that trade didn't go anywhere. But anyway, I thought I was going to take him first overall had I had that pick, but I thought for
Seriously?
sure. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was my dude. I had my eyes set on him. Oh yeah. But I thought that he, along with Monroe, would go 2 and 3 with
Oh
the
yeah.
long-awaited Hokie picks, the Hokie weight, the Hokie holdup. Actually, that's what we call it, the Hokie holdup. But hey, I'm a huge fan of Juan Santana. I have this thing with Mogul. It wasn't the whole reason why I picked Juan Santana, but I have a big thing with Mogul pictures on the player card. And once I
Which
saw
there might be some truth to that.
I really believe that there's something to it. It won't tell you. All right, first of all, this guy has a Dan Vines picture, right?
Yeah.
And maybe this is secret, maybe it's not. I don't think it is because I know Peter thinks about it too. And anyway,
I don't hear too many people talking about it, so you might have just given away your mogul
whatever,
trade
whatever,
secret.
whatever. I'm here for the people. So anyway, um, he has a Dan Vines picture, and that tells me real quick that he won't be exactly what Dan Vines is currently, but the path can be very, very similar, especially the end result when they peak. I've actually given you a couple examples. I mean, maybe we could say it's
Yeah.
for a future pod, but um, I think he could be as dangerous as Dan Vines down the road, especially being left-handed.
Yeah, you
But
made me
anyway,
a believer of that when we were
yeah.
talking about it
And listen,
last night.
I just fucked myself when it comes to future draft picks. But like it's not the reason to pick this guy. You have to look at the vials, obviously.
Yeah,
And
vitals and upside and age will always be like the
that'll
number
be
one
king. Yep,
factor.
that will always be king. But
But I do think like with the examples you showed, now if we could get somebody who wants to go super in depth and find a bunch of examples where like they're nothing like him, but you were telling me like
it's not
the
always going to be true.
DNA is going to be like the
Exactly.
sort of
That's a good way to put out DNA. I think it's DNA. There's something in the DNA of that player profile that tells me that hey, this could be someone to compare him to. But
thing. Now,
I personally thought there was a lot of like to Santana. I mean, he has a power that was plus 14 to where his overall stands out. His contact is it looks like it's lagging, but it's not too far
well,
from
that's
his
why I
overall.
don't like him. Just
I know,
because,
and I'm sure that's why a lot of people don't like him. But I think that his contact will be on par with his overall. It will lag a little bit, but I'm hoping that he'll get to 80 contact, 85 contact.
if he does, he's going to be a beast.
Oh, I
And
already
like,
told you, I'm gonna win a ball 5 times
and in a draft like
before he's.
this, if you think that about a player, he's worth taking.
Yes.
What am I
And
right?
I was 50-50 on the Santana Monroe pick, and we were already talking Monroe, so let's get to Exum. Chris Exum to Oakland.
Yeah, see, Fred, I can be the bigger man here
Oh
and
God.
not bash you. I think you made a great pick with Chris Exum or Exum, however you want to pronounce his name. Like he's got the typical build that you want to see in most pitchers, well, at least a good chunk of the league likes him. I mean, obviously you want the power pitchers, but he could have good vitals everywhere, really.
I agree with you. I do like Exum, but I see a couple question marks. One being,
Well,
well,
his home
this,
runs are good.
no, I'm not really looking at his home runs, but I see that could be a little bit of a concern. I don't see that. I mean, he's 50 overall, 17 years old. I think that's going to be. I think he's going to grow out of that. I don't think it's even a home run issue, because if you see like 4 years of double digits, then it's a red flag. But anyway, this is just personal preference. But yes, he has a top of the line sinker and circle change, and maybe that's the recipe to success for a ground ball guy. But I gotta have
I find it is.
I gotta have a better fastball. But maybe the sinker is the main pitch, and I don't know how really Mogul works with that, but
What I
that would be
would
my
be
question
worth.
mark.
Well,
And
I would be.
the high health, but
Yeah,
I
the
think
high.
no, I think he's a solid pitcher because I'm a big fan of the upside guys, so I think in time he's going to be a pretty quality pitcher, and Fred will be happy with it. So um,
I'd be worried about maybe one or two of his pitches lagging behind, and Mogul can kind of get stupid. And if they think, okay, well, say your curveball is the one that's lagging behind, well, all right, I think I should throw a curveball here. Well, if his curveball is like rated in the 50s and he throws up a curveball, well, guess what? He's probably going to take a hit from that. But because Mogul can get a little wonky like that sometimes, but I think he'll be fine. It'd be nice if he had less pitches, actually, probably would be better on him. But
you think so? You think less pitches is better for a pitcher in Mogul? Because I would think that
not
variety would
necessarily.
be a great thing.
Like variety is good, but you also don't want to have like that
A
one pitch,
shitty
like a
pitch that
shitty
could get
pitch.
I
Yeah,
see what you mean.
you don't want a shitty pitch is what you don't want. And so it'll just be interesting to see if, all those pitches that are in the 40s right now, the fastball, curve, and cutter, if they keep going up or if they start lagging too much.
Sorry, you can just keep going. I'm gonna send G. Let me ask G if he's interested. But anyway, let's jump to Colorado's pick because we talked about Peltier a bit. Colorado's picked 8th overall, Toby Davis, who I think is Cecil Nation 1.5, as I said.
Yeah,
but
it's Cecil Nation,
2.0.
but at a more respectable time to pick Cecil Nation, in my estimation.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that.
Like
I can be on board with that.
at number 2, you could have picked, a Monroe, an Exum, a Peltier, who I was really high on. You could have picked a Juan Santana, who I think will be better if, assuming these guys both develop. I think Juan Santana has a way better chance of being a better ball player than the Nation.
Juan Santana be a fucking beast. So don't you put him in the same breath as fucking. No, I'm kidding. Go on.
So taking Toby Davis here, I think is perfectly fine. I think that was a fairly good pick. Again, he's got no D, so you're going to be DHing him. But
yeah,
he looks pretty decent in my estimation. He actually has more contact than Cecil right now.
Let me tell you one thing about Toby Davis that I almost like more than Cecil Nation. I think. Well, I made the comparison with them to Vesso. Toby Davis will have the defense that will actually compare with Vesso, in my opinion. I think his fielding and arm, maybe even range, might develop a little bit, where they'll play the typical DH style of playing left field, which is not good.
Yeah,
but I think in time his defense will maybe spike to a 79, according to the diamond in left field.
Oh, maybe, yeah, but
where it says 74, I think that could peak to 79.
But that's not going to change. Like his arm range of fielding aren't going to change that drastically. I don't think.
But I think it will. No, not drastic. I'm saying I think it will develop.
Like just good enough.
Yeah,
Kind
to
of.
good enough to be like, you could plug him out there if you had to. But I think it's a good pick for Colorado because one is Colorado, and this guy could hit
Well, I mean,
bombs
he's
by the
he's
time he's
16
yeah,
too,
by the time
so
he's 22, 23 years old. But he is a pretty raw player, so um,
well, that's kind of the theme of this draft
yeah,
is a lot. I noticed throughout the draft, like a lot of people took the raw type players because there wasn't, you know, we were scraping the bottom of the barrel by the time we were done the second round. Basically, already we were scraping.
yeah. Um, let's move forward.
All
Um,
right, let's see. Where am I on my thing?
let's get to
What's
no,
uh,
wait. Tampa Bay, 9 overall. Manuel Abritsu,
Arbizu?
lefty. Similar to Peltier in terms of he's going to be a power build. Um, his control might lag a little bit, but young guy, 17, high upside.
I didn't
And
hate him.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I just I'm very um like I try to avoid the lefty as much as I can. You know, I try to avoid them. I don't think
Yeah,
that I just don't know which way, especially a raw 17-year-old, 51 overall lefty. I just never know what direction that lefty's gonna go. Never know. He could be a great pitcher. He could be you know, pretty much a BP thrower.
so you want to let someone else take the risk,
I
basically.
will let someone else. Like he's the type of pick where I will let if G Money likes him, take him because he could be a great player. I won't be taking that risk.
Well, he's got the good mix of endurance and health too,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Again,
Uh,
he's got the vitals. He's got it. But
it's just you think he could be a bust with being lefty.
no, no. Well, I'm just saying I hate lefties, and I hate that they could get murdered in a righty's world.
Yeah, they kind of
Um,
have to be like a cut above.
yeah, cut about the rest.
Yeah, to
But like,
to survive.
but there's a lot of lefties that find success. Matty has a rotation full of lefties, and you know, over the years, I like just go on top of my head that he's had a bunch of lefties that's had success, and he's not the only one who's ever started a lefty starter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I feel like it happens more oftentimes than not where a lefty just gets blown up because he's lefty. So if you're a lefty and you're in the draft, you automatically have that red flag for me. So I will
you know,
always let someone else take him.
even
And
in
if
the
you,
later rounds.
that's different. That's if it's a later round and you see that this lefty could be better than righty, of course you'll take the lefty.
Yeah,
But when it comes to a top 10 pick, I'm definitely hesitant. Definitely
yeah,
hesitant.
I can definitely see the logic behind that. I mean, you want him. It's pretty important to have your first round pick
Right.
work.
And to go forward, the next pick, Joel Smith, is a guy I
Oh,
hate.
yeah. I honestly, I was thinking like he was going to be somebody's auto pick. Is what I thought was going to happen.
I thought it was gonna be the dreaded auto pick. I was kind of hoping, well, with the hokey holdup hashtag hokey holdup. I thought for a second that he was gonna go to Florida. I was really hoping actually, but um, he went he went to Seattle, and hey, he's 16, but that control, bro, it's 10
Yeah,
under. It's
that
10 under. You don't want to
that
be 10 under. You want to be 10 under in golf, just not in mobile. Um,
yeah, that is going to be something to overcome. And what's worse to compound that is like it's not like he's a 73 overall and like his power is a 73 or 74 and his movement is a 73 or 74. Like all of his vitals are
everything,
below, and that's not good to
everything.
start with. So you got to
Terrible to start with.
figure,
The only thing that's good to start with is the fact that he's 16, and that
yeah,
doesn't do much for me.
he's still only 21 points of upside though. Like
Sure, but I
he
think
could be
he's.
one of those quick guys in the majors by 20 years old. He might be in.
First glance, he reminds me of a lefty pitcher from New York, Kevin Shorter, I believe his name was. Might be in a free agency then, but he looked okay when he was peaked out, but he was well under his overall. Yeah, he peaked out like 91, 92, but he was like 80, 85, 80 something. That could be what what's this guy's name again? Smith? Yeah,
Joel Smith.
Joel Smith. Maybe that's what he turns out to be, but oof.
Something I didn't notice right away, actually, and I mean, it's not super high compared to his overall, but his fastball is probably going to be downright nasty, and his slider will
Yeah,
probably get up there too.
but that could also be the death of him because
Yeah,
he's going to throw
could
a
be.
BP. He could throw a BP.
Yeah,
You
he,
know, I
he,
think it's possible that his high school stats,
oh, those are inflated big time.
I would say because he's 73 overall
Yeah,
and he's literally a man. Well, I say a man amongst boys that he's 16 years old, but he was uh, way above. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but you know what
that's
I'm trying
like
to say.
that's
He's
like
above the
taking
rest when it
that's
comes
like
to
taking
overall talent.
that'd be like taking the pitcher version of Albert Pujols, who says he's like 5 years younger, but he's really,
I was gonna say I was
Smith is
actually gonna
already
say
in his
Danny
20s.
Almonte. I was gonna say Danny Almonte in Little League baseball.
Yeah, he's Danny Almonte.
This kid was killing it, but like he's mad old. Yeah, Joel Smith is that dude. So that's a top 10. We don't want to go through every single pick. I'm sorry, Harold. I know. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Harold's our only guy who's here, so we have to go past the top 10.
Well, no,
Pick.
because
Yeah,
Harold's in this one, but on YouTube there might be more. I think there's
actually,
more on YouTube.
that's
But
true.
we can go through every
That's true.
first round pick, so
But
I don't mind.
every first round pick, bro. First of all, it's 10 o'clock at night. This at this rate, this is gonna be longer than the fucking draft. Um. Anyway,
All right, well
Jamie,
we can.
just shut up. Jamie Avery. Um, he, Jamie Avery reminds me of a lot of the shortstops. I feel like this build happens once a year. I don't know. It's been happening a lot. I remember Jamie Alcocer. That's his name.
Well, I think he's a
Um,
piece of shit mostly,
I
but
it can go either way. The shortstop in Chicago, Michael Towell, I think his name is. Same build. Last year, Joey Davis, same build. Jamie Avery, same build. There might have been another dude, but it's the 65 overall. Your contact's just a little bit under. Your power's just a little bit under. So you're thinking, oh, this guy could be if he peaks out 90, he could be 83 contact, 80 something power, which is a great shortstop with great speed and whatever. But it turns out that this build can be a huge bust.
well, and it's not like you're drafting a guy knowing, all right, if everything else goes wrong with him, he's got defense and speed. No, like he's got
Which is exactly what Alcocer
okay
had.
defense, maybe. I
That's
wouldn't
exactly
want to
what
play
Jamie
him
Alcocer had.
shortstop.
No, maybe in a GD pitching staff on a
Yeah.
GD pitching staff. But I think the plan is to move Avery to second base because I know Harold's roster. He has um a shortstop already who could be a Gold Glover. What the fuck's his name again? He picked him last year. Stan Ling. Who's actually no, actually I thought he was a similar build, but no. Anyway, he's a second baseman who could be a shortstop, and then he's gonna move Avery to second base. He'll be below average no matter what. But
Well, we were talking about this last night, uh, but for those who weren't privy onto the conversation, I think that somehow, some way, that like the shortstops progression has kind of taken the turn to of the it's getting the relief pitcher treatment. So when you see a guy like Jamie Avery could be any other position, and you see that build, you're like, all right, this guy might be able to hit 85 power, maybe like 70 contact. I don't see that happening with the shortstop. So if you flip, like if you decide to put him to second base, That's not going to matter. He's still going to be. I think he's going to be lucky to get to 75 power versus righties. And if he does that, and you decide to play him at second base, well, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage in second base, even though second basemen are becoming hard to find, but he would still be way below average.
Yeah, second base are becoming hard to find, and I think he just hurt his feelings. He's probably going to be leaving this chat. So, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. I kind of agree with you. I can't say I can't agree. You really want to go pick by pick here?
No, we can go to the next one. That.
All right. Well, how about this? How about this? We'll keep it brief. If there's someone on the chat, I don't know. Well, fuck it. Let's just keep going at this rate. Anyway, Andrew Aberle to the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Fighting Pikas.
Did not like him.
I think he's in the same boat. I'll keep it short. He's in the same boat as Joel Smith. Exactly what I said about Joel Smith is exactly what I'll say about Andrew Aberle.
The same thing.
Exactly
the same thing.
Literally, if you want to hear what I hear about Aberle, go back about 2-3 minutes and press play and act like Aberle replaces Smith, because that's exactly what I'd say.
And even with Aberle, he's actually way older too. So.
Oh yeah, facts. I did not notice
that. Smith, at least, like, he doesn't look like he's going to be in the minors a long time, but say he does, then that could be he could get a leg up. Aberle's not going to be in the minors for the next 8 years. He's going to be in there for like 3 or 4. Because you can see like how much of a jump he took from 20 to 21. Even if he gets half that the next bit, like, he still doesn't look like he's going to be that good, but he's going to peak out quick.
All right. Well, we have to move on because, or else we're gonna
moving on up.
We're gonna find some haters. But anyway, this next pick, Baltimore, Alan Whitson. It's like you knew exactly what you're looking at. You know exactly what you're looking at. You're looking at a ceiling of what the hell's his name again?
Jacob Beisel.
Yep.
2.0 right here.
You're looking at the highest of high in Jacob Beisel, and you're looking at the lowest of low in what I said, Albert Rodriguez, a center fielder that had the same exact build, but he had a contact below 70.
I was honestly a little bit surprised that he stayed on the board so long. It's a risky pick.
Yeah,
it's a risky pick, but if he hits and in the right park, like, he'd be crappy in my park probably, and unless I decide to tweak it when I build a new one. But he would be crappy for me. But on most teams, this guy's going to be dealing if he gets to be Beisel levels. And he can play defense.
But like, the thing is, you will never know if he's going to be Beisel until you see that one number, 70, at contact. 70. It's literally the only number you're looking at. Who gives a fuck about the defense? Who gives a fuck about the power? Who gives a fuck about the eye? You're looking at one number. And that's the reason why I would never take him.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take him for the same reason. I'm just surprised he was still on the board. Just with the upside.
I will never hate on this pick like I would hate on the Joel Smith and Andrew Aberle, because this guy could be a Hall of Famer. I mean, look, well, that's another thing. I don't think Beisel's a Hall of Famer. I think everyone's going to be like, oh, he's a Hall of Famer. Nah, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Anyway, Alan Whitson could be a great player, but he could also bust without any surprise. So that's. I hope he's gonna. Well, you know what? Baltimore actually has a lot of that. That's the thing that High Heat likes, because I saw he has. I think he was drafted by Andy, but Anthony White. There's Pavlov, guys who are massive power, but their contact's going to be lacking. So Baltimore, once they come up, I mean, I've been big on the Baltimore bandwagon, but they're going to be a team that's going to mash in, they're mashed. They could be mashing right now, but with this pick, I'm not sure about other picks, but they have some power. But it seems like they're High Heat's big on the low contact, high power dudes, which is fun.
Yeah.
But it's just definitely a risk. So he knows exactly who he picked. But
James Gentle.
He's going to be the, like, what's the best example? Like Oh man.
I'm bad with comps unless it's quite obvious.
No,
Like,
no. I'm gonna give you like a. I wouldn't say steady Eddie. Obviously, he wouldn't be Eddie Murray. But I'm saying like he's gonna have a career like Derek Lee. He's just gonna have a
yeah,
good career. He's just gonna have a good career. But like he won't be a Hall of Famer. He probably won't make an All Star. If anyone knows who Derek Lee is, he's a first baseman
should know. Jeez.
who had a solid career. You know, if you look back, you'd be like, you know, Derek Lee's a good cat. You know, but I think James Gentle is the type of pick where you really can't go wrong. You're not getting a superstar player, but he can knock some out of the park, and you can be happy with him.
Yeah,
So
he's a safe pick.
he's a safe pick, but I think I think the power will be there. He is right-handed, so he's not going to be Barry Bonds over here, but I say he might be Derek Lee.
Yeah.
Um, but his contact will lag a little bit, but like it's not going to be 70. It's going to go over 70. His power is not going to be 95, but
But
it might be 9.
89.
It might be 91. You know.
Yeah.
So I think overall he picked a safe first baseman who will have a solid major league career.
And then there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, especially in a draft like this where you don't know what the fuck you're picking at this point.
Yeah, like after pick 10, especially, and that might be even being generous. I was like,
And
don't
I will
know
jump
who's coming.
and to jump you right here because your mic's kind of fucking up. I'm gonna jump to pick 20 and Chip Smallin, who actually I like more than Gentle. I like more than Gentle because he hits both righties and lefties pretty evenly.
Yeah,
But I
the
think
career path is
I'll
a
tell you
little
one thing.
different.
I'll tell you one thing. He took a drop. He had a birthday. He took a drop. I was actually oh shit.
No, he didn't.
He did not have a birthday. Oh shit. He had. I almost said happy birthday, Chip Smallman. Oh shit. He dropped and he will drop some more.
That was just a
But
small
anyway,
mistake.
yeah, small mistake. But I still think he'll have a major league career. Then, well, now that I see this, Gentle will is a better pick, but I still think Smallman is a safe selection. You're not getting a Hall of Famer, but you're also not getting a guy who's going to play in the KBO or in Japan in 2 seasons and absolutely mash. Ben Broomfield to your friend, your neighbor,
The core.
Corey, the Corey, Toronto Blue Jays, Bloomfield. I'll tell you, I do like him. I think he's in the same like safe pick zone. Like he can't go around Ben Broomfield. He's not Billy Wagner, but really pitching is really hard to find, and he looks like his control is not going to be that bad. He might give up a couple homers here and there, but it looks like he's just going to be a solid relief pitcher. I don't know about
Yeah, I would say he looks like he's going to be a solid relief pitcher, and with the way relief pitching is going, that's not bad.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he wasn't taken. I can't say he was taken earlier, but I'm surprised he wasn't. I guess I'm surprised he wasn't taken earlier. I just thought that he looks like a guy who could be ready in about probably 3-4 years. Probably maybe less. I'm not sure, but
I mean, I'm not surprised it wasn't taken earlier, just due to the fact that even though relief pitching is rare, still like good relief pitching, it's still only like 50 innings.
right. But they're very hard to find. So,
Now I know you're gonna love this pick.
oh man, I wanted the Bash brother. I wanted Mike Ansaldi. I was big on him, man.
That's
And
who I was hoping you were gonna take instead of Peltier. So I
I
could have
was
taken
I,
Peltier, which I ended up trading down from pick 8. But
I was really hoping that Ansaldi dropped to 18 because I really wanted the Bash brothers. Anyway, um, I love Mike Ansaldi. I know a lot of people might not like him because he might be like a one-trick pony, but I think his contact. All right, I'll tell you my comp. Uh, oh my God, you guys are gonna love this name. You ready for it? Bradley Lescure. I he's gonna be. I think he might be him with less of an eye.
yeah, maybe. I think I just don't think that
I
contact.
couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to say that name.
I don't even think that contact is gonna sniff 70. It's way too low at 56. That is some.
But you got to look at his overall. You got to look at the ratio between his
Yeah,
where the player is at overall and where in accordance to where the well, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying right now. But you gotta look at where the contact is according to his overall. If Ansaldi had 58 contact and he had the Alan Whitsted overall at 74, that's a huge gap. And I'd be like, you know what, fuck it. This guy's gonna have 60 contact. He's gonna match the minors and he'll never sniff the majors. But he doesn't have he's not over the 70 overall range. He's at 61 overall. If you do the math here, 61, 58, what's the difference? We're looking at 3.
yeah. Again, yeah, but that's just normal. Again, that's like the normal player card there. I'm looking at righties, which is the only thing that really matters here, and that's a much bigger difference. That's 5.
I think that Ansaldi will have 85 contact.
Oh, that's a bold statement. You heard it here first on the Jermaine and Mikey FCM rants.
I will put fucking money on it that he will be 85 contact. He's going to be a problem. He's not going to win a batting title, but he will smack 30, maybe 35. But he's not going to do it at a 200 clip either. He's going to do it at like a 260, 270. 260, 270. I'm telling you. Mike Ansel is going to be a problem. He's going to be a pick that other people are like, shit, man, why did I not pick this guy? Maybe they didn't pick him because of his range, and maybe they think he's going to be DH. But I think he's going to have the quote unquote DH type defense that I probably a little bit better, but I think he's going to be a guy who could actually play right field. But he will be a statue out there. He won't be able to range, but he's not going to kick the ball 100 times.
No.
He's just going to be lacking range, obviously.
Yeah. All right, Leon Marco.
I wanted
Marco
him to.
Leon. Yeah,
I was pissed
really
off.
wanted him.
I was pissed off. I was like,
but it's
fuck.
Weird.
I thought for sure he was going to drop too.
He has the build of like.
Nope, I already have the comp.
Pitcher.
Nope, I will tell you the build, and I will be very, very short and sweet with this. Look at St. Louis. Look at his starting pitching. Look at Juan Zuniga. He has the same picture, same everything. He's not going to be Juan Zuniga, but he has the DNA of Juan Zuniga.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, you're right. He could be Juan Zuniga, 90s everything.
Minus everything. But
90s everything, not
I think it's minus everything. I think he's gonna be Juan Zuniga, but he would absolutely suck. I think he'll be Juan Zuniga, and I would look for Marco Leon to take an early jump, and I think that's what, if my history tells me right, I think that's what Zuniga did early. But I would say though, I don't think Marco Leon will be close battles wise to him because. I don't know. He's at 84 peak. If he peaks out at 84, 85, 86, whatever like that, he's gonna be a poor man's version. So
yeah, same DNA though.
Same DNA. Yeah. Listen, I wanted him.
The CAD could be a happy man if he jumps.
He could be a major league pitcher, and he, I think he'll tell you better, CAD, but he could be a good fit for Colorado. It doesn't look like his home runs are going to be a problem. This guy. It doesn't look like it. Just according to his high school and college stats.
No,
I don't think I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think this guy's going to be a pretty good talent. But if he just look at Marco Leon, just look at the build, and look at Zuniga. Look at Zuniga what he was when he first came on the scene, when he was drafted. Look at Marco Leon. Look at Zuniga, and you're going to say, "Oh shit! Look at the picture." I'm telling you that it's not going to be. They're not going to be carbon copies of each other, but they're not going to have the same endurance, contact, movement, power, but they're going to have the same development path or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, holy shit! I'm watching the Met game and Ryan Zimmer just hit a fucking bomb. Mets fucking suck, by the way. Anyway,
so do the Leafs because they got eliminated.
Yeah, but they're a young team.
Yeah.
The Mets. This is their window, and they're sucking ass right now. Like, look at this kid. He's happy as shit. He caught up. Oh, no, he's a Nationals fan. Mets fucking suck.
So,
anyway.
Me thinks it's time to go to your pick here.
it's funny you said methinks. Wait, did you just say as a pun?
Yes.
Oh fuck, I'm an asshole. But anyway, I'm an asshole. Anyway, I'm like, me think so. Me think is like the fucking name of the next guy. All right. Anyway, what's your thoughts, bro?
Well, I don't like him for the same reason why I don't like any guys who have contact like that. But at least he can steal a few bags and play defense.
Listen, you gotta
And
listen.
he's young.
You gotta listen to a most def track and just simple mathematics, right? It's a -3, bro. I don't think he's gonna be fucking the best right fielder in the game, but I think he'll have a major league. I think it's a major league track record. He will have a major league track. I don't know what I'm saying.
But basically, for the same reasons you like your power and contact dudes, like we've said, like, and I mean, he's going to be able to play the outfield too. Which
Yes.
That,
and I'll tell you,
helps.
he'll be able to play right field. And I think right fielders are sneaky hard to find. A good right fielder. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be a good right fielder. Oh yeah, that's a natural right fielder. I don't think he's gonna be a good fielder. He's not gonna win a Gold Glove, but he'll be able to play. I like his power. I like his power. I think he's gonna be an underrated player. Also, he has a decent eye as well.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be an underrated player that could hit like, I don't know.
His power will be there.
See, but
like, I'm not questioning that. His power is going to be there.
His power is gonna be there, and I think his contact will be there as well. Maybe at 80 contact. Detroit. GB was not at the draft, but he did send
a list though.
I know he had a list. But he picked, according to his list, shortstop Manny Valtier. Thoughts?
My gut tells me I don't really like this dude, and I'm going to explain.
My mind is telling me no, but my body.
I've told you before, but this guy.
I don't see nothing wrong.
I mean, at least his eye is 83.
With a little Valtier.
Okay, shut up. At least his eye.
I don't see nothing wrong.
Is 83, but okay, his contact is below 60. Oh Jesus!
Anyway,
his contact is below 60 right now.
Yeah.
His power, we all know how shortstops just don't develop.
Suck at developing.
And to boot, he is 71-80 here. This guy just looks to me like any good defensive shortstop that hits the free agency every year, because in game they want to sign like a $4 to $5 million contract, and you're like, no, screw that. Goes to free agency and you sign him to like league min or $1 million. He basically looks like one of those. So to take somebody like that in the first round, I'm just like, a whole lot of nope.
My thought is he could be kind of like what Stan Lang was.
He's got the same picture,
is for Harold. And I can't really, I can only really relate to the current players. I'm not really a historian like Maddie or anyone else like Andy would. I really don't know players of the old. But he reminds me of Stan Lang. He had a low contact, great defense, and if you look at Lang now, it looks like he has a chance. Where
is he, on Colorado?
No, San Fran, second base.
San Fran.
Who I think was converted to shortstop, but it seems like they have the same exact look. The high eye, great defense.
Yeah, I mean, if he starts to become a Stan Lang, but that is one hell of a comparison, given that the peak and overall are.
Yeah, that. The next thing is you need a early jump. I'm not sure if he's jumped or dropped already, but you kind of need that jump. And I'm definitely worried about his upside.
Yeah,
his upside tells me that he's gonna peak out in when he's 23 or whatever, and
he might even peak out sooner because he dropped from 19 to 20. He could drop again. Who knows?
So he did have a birthday.
His peak dropped.
Okay, I see.
His birthday was May 4th. So
You know
like
what? Then he might be due for a jump.
I like the early birthdays.
He might be due for a jump then. So he's the type of cat that's gonna be dependent off a in season this season jump.
We're still that's still assuming he actually like
He has to jump
looks
this
good
season. Yeah,
because
I think he will look good if he jumps. He will look good. He's gonna look like Lang.
I think that's the high point. There's either you look like
Not high points.
Lang,
It's the same point.
you look like Lang, or you're a bust, basically.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. He's dependent. He's gonna be GB is gonna be hoping for that quick jump, and my bet is that he will get a quick jump.
And my bet is that he won't get a quick jump.
But overall, I still think he's 50-50. But because he's a shortstop, because they're very hard to find, and because he has a really good glove, he's going to have a major league career. And I almost prefer this build than a build of Avery.
Oh yeah, tenfold.
I mean,
So do I.
if the defense was the same, if the defense
Yeah,
were the same with Avery and Valtier,
yeah,
I would
I
still take
agree.
Valtier.
Same.
Um,
I'll always choose the defense there, especially.
no. I said even if the defense was the same, we're the same. Like if Valtier,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, no, that's my mind wasn't thinking right. Yeah, because his eye is at least good, too.
yeah. I think he has more of an offensive potential.
Yeah,
But I think Valtier was a risky pick, but I think it was okay. I think it's a good risk to take. I mean, he just won a World Series, so
yeah.
and I think he traded for that pick. He must have because it's 19. So we talked about Smalley. We got to talk about your pick because you traded. All right. So anyway, tell me your thoughts about your idea, your mindset when you were into the draft. You had the
I
eighth?
well,
Yeah, eighth overall.
I had eighth overall because of obviously I didn't start with eighth because I didn't, I was actually decent last season. I had
Okay.
89 wins, and I went into my rebuild this off season.
Right. We don't have to
So
go. We don't have to go too deep into this, but
okay, so I had pick 8 going into the draft. I had pick 8, 21, and 27.
yep.
And once you picked Peltier, well, actually, I was talking to Cad a little bit before. Once you came on, I was like, if my guy gets picked, would you be interested in trading up to pick 8? He says yes, but it would have to be whatever. I can't. It was the later. It was Cad's later 2 picks in the first round, and I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine. So you pick Peltier. So I'm like, all right, let's do this deal. So I'm just hoping that the draft goes, my way because there was no real set like, all right, these guys are definitely going to go. We talked about that. So my pick comes up, and James Smith, who was one of the guys I liked, we were talking about before. I was like, all right, I'm just going to grab him. He's 17 years old. He doesn't have any speed, but he's a switch hitter. His contact and power should, I'm hoping, hit 90, but maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be just below that. But even if they are, that's not too bad still. And he can play defense. So I was just,
I think he's a corner outfielder.
yeah, I wouldn't want to put him in center, not with that
I would
range,
put him in
probably.
right.
Yeah.
Because he has a pretty damn good arm. He reminds me of one of my prospects, switch hitter. What the hell's his name again? Marcus Mueller. Contact power around the same as his overall. Overall decent defense. I think that, like Mueller, Smith can be a good player, not a great player, a guy who would be on a major league team, but you won't hesitate to upgrade.
Yeah, that was kind of.
But in this draft, it's not a bad idea because
Yeah, that was basically my mindset there. I'm like, he's 17. Let's roll the mogul dice because you need, basically in this draft, the theme was upside. And he's got the upside and he's young. So I'm like, well, let's go. I didn't think he was going to fall anymore, basically.
What was I going to say? All right, let's just move on to the next pick. Bobby Angelico to the Stocky.
I like it.
The Stocky franchise. I'll tell you, I think someone had a comment where like there's only one good catcher in this draft. Well, I mean, just a spoiler. I think the best catcher is one you picked,
So do I.
Enrico Mornes, and we talked about this. I was a big fan of Mornes. So, but anyway, I think Angelico is also a good catcher. He's also got a rare build of a speed variety.
Yeah, I mean, he's
But
got good arm. He's got good handling. He's got
yeah,
decent range.
I was gonna say this is the third year of a good catchers draft, and this isn't a all-star catchers draft where like, oh, I got to jump to get this guy. But you wouldn't say this about catchers 4, 5, 6 drafts ago.
No,
There were no catchers. This is the third draft in a row, at least in my to my estimation, that there were catchers available. There was a number of good catchers in this. Not to you know lead an all-star team or whatever like that, but I
no,
think
but solid catcher.
yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah. You would find a guy who can play defense and have a little bit of offense.
yeah, and it's not like
Jellicoe's one of those people.
it's not hard to find a good catcher. I mean, you can still sometimes find those sneaky ones in free agency who will kind of look crappy but still do well. But I wouldn't say it's easy to find a good catcher either. So if you're picking a guy in the first round, he's probably going to make he's probably making the majors. I think he will.
Yo, say that last thing again.
He's probably going to make the majors. Angelico.
Yeah, I mean, I will see what his
He's
final.
At least a backup catcher, at least.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he will, develop into, because if he was a center fielder, he would look like a pretty good player, with the power. I mean, not power, the speed. I'm just curious on how a catcher
will develop
with this build will develop. I'm just curious. But yeah, so we'll see on Jekyll. I don't think he's gonna be a power player, like a guy who you'd want
just
to
one
have.
sec.
But
just one sec.
All right, this commercial is brought to you by the great Canadians up north, and Mike and Corey.
All right, so I'm not sure what you just said. I just heard Mike and Corey, but my fiance's leaving for work, so had to kiss the lady goodbye, and she informed me there's a spider in the bathroom I have to go kill later.
Okay.
Moving on to Schillinger.
Yes, it looks like your cat.
His, I really like him. He looks like sort of like a Gil Marin type build, not as much because Marin's control was.
What was Gil Marin's look when he was drafted? Was he a raw 49 overall?
No. I usually don't go with a 49 overall guy, but I was just like, in this draft, yeah, I have to.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm concerned with his control.
Yeah.
And on the surface, it looks like, oh my God, what are you talking about? It's a +12. But for some reason, I have bad luck picking these type of dudes with these low controls. With the control that's under like 60 with the 49 overall dude. I have a feeling that Schillinger's control is going to really lag.
I wouldn't be surprised if he busts.
I wouldn't be shocked.
But that curveball, man.
That curveball is lethal.
For where he's at.
My next question is, he looks like a reliever. Will you consider that?
Well, converting him completely?
Yeah.
No, he's starter all the way.
What do you do? Like, I'm just trying to ask. Do you think he'll be very, very valuable as a starting pitcher? Personally, I think I would use him as a relief pitcher.
If he hits his high side, yeah, and that's what I'm hoping here.
I don't think he's going to get there.
If he's a reliever, I mean, his development path is going to be fairly similar, regardless if you change him to a reliever or not.
Listen, I hate the burst bubble. He's not Gil Marin. He's not Gil Marin.
No, he's not going to be a Gil Marin.
His control is going to be like a 72 to 75. His movement might go up to like an 80 or something like that. He can be very useful in the relief role. He's not going to be the control freak that you think he might be. There's something with that overall being under 50, and you see that control being that. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird I'm saying this, but I just just some sort of shit with this 49 overall thing.
There's a reason why people under 50 overall just don't get picked, is because they rarely hit
I feel like
where
this. I feel like there's just something so misled and so bugged that I just don't understand. Like
like
if he was 51 overall, I would look at him so differently
yeah, it's
just
just
because of that.
it's just they rarely hit their peak, if you want to say.
I don't even know it's that. I think there's something to mogul with these 49s that literally 49. If you're a 50, 51, you're a way different ball player. I just think that this person, I just think there's something going on with the game.
But trust me, there was things I was worrying about with him, but that can be said with any guy that I picked, like after any guy that was picked after pick 10. So I just
We
went
got
with
we got a comment from Muscatix that 57 endurance doesn't scream starting pitcher to me.
he's got a
He
point.
also laughed out loud, so he's actually laughing right now. He's really laughing.
Well, I wonder if he's laughing with me or at me. That makes a difference.
Anyway, next pick, Todd Nickerson, lefty. He looks similar to. Oh wow! Well, he looks similar to the guy Tampa Bay picked. Oh wait, he went to Tampa Bay. Holy shit!
I
So it
like
looks like it looks like Tampa Bay with two lefties.
I mean,
that look similar.
my only knock on him. Well, I mean, depending on who you ask, like Manny doesn't seem to like the higher control dudes compared to movement. I think he likes a little somewhere in between. I don't know. Don't quote me on it, but I know he does. Like he's gonna bash my pick for sure because of that. Um, I think it's gonna be kind of the same boat with um, Nickerson. It's like you either like that kind of build or you don't, and the endurance is high, but at least his health is low. And in this case, it's a good thing, even though that shouldn't be how mogul works, but it does.
I mean, maybe I'm starting to change my mind about these. I think this is. He looks like a good player. He looks like a good pitcher, especially coming from this late in the first round. I'm looking at him. I like this pick. I can't hate on it. He's got a
No,
fastball that's over his overall. He's got a nice splitter. He's got a two-seamer that's with his overall. I'm looking at his pitches, obviously. Um, his control, power, movement, all either on par or above his overall. His stats. I mean, with amateur stats, I take him. I look at him, but I take him with sort of a grain of salt. But I only look at him to see a trend. Like,
yeah.
I guess everyone looks at him as a trend. But if this dude is giving up fucking 15 a year, home runs, stay away. But it looks like he's keeping the ball in the ballpark. His ERA, yeah, it's spiked up, but he's 51 overall. Like,
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can't really go by those.
Yeah, I can't really take his stats and be like, oh, that's what he's going to be. No, I think Nickerson's going to be a pretty good pitcher. Even though I hate lefties, I fucking hate him. But I think he's going to be all right. Carlos Clappers, G's old team, the New York Metropolitans, who are losing 6-3 in real life.
I was giving the slow golf clap to this one.
Slow
golf clap for Clappers.
Oh shit!
He's
slow.
not bad.
I'm very very slow with puns today, man. I'm very. Yeah, my God. Anyway, you just threw me off. Anyway,
he's not bad. He's going to be probably a DH, obviously, because he doesn't have much defense to speak of.
But all right. But you gave some sort of praise to Cecil Nation and Toby Davis. You could say that this cat is kind of in the same boat with the higher eye. So you're not going to like this pick at all, or he has high. And the other thing is his contact's over his overall. His power is slightly over his overall. His eye is way above his overall.
Well, Cecil Nation and Toby Davis. Well, Cecil Nation specifically, pretty sure. Like, the power's coming because the power is above contact, so it's probably coming.
So is this guy. It just won't be 95. It could be 88
Maybe,
to 90. Maybe
he could turn into a contact hitter because right now his contact is above his power.
Right.
When it comes to righties, And actually, when it comes to just his normal player card,
Right.
so if this guy is a more of a contact hitter and he doesn't develop a lot of power, well, then that's a completely different player than Cecil Nation. I don't hate the pick. I don't love the pick. I don't hate it though. It's just it's a solid pick. It's
I think it's. I mean, I,
you're
I
getting
can't. I can't hate on this pick at 25.
you're getting a major leaguer probably, but
Major league professional hitter at DH. Yeah. Next pick, Keith Bradford, catcher, Yankees. I like it. You?
uh, yeah,
He can be a
I,
major league catcher. He can throw.
he
He
can
can hit.
throw. He has handling.
Um,
He
actually,
hopefully can hit.
I had a comp in mind actually.
He's only 19. So far, his career path is something you like to see.
Fuck, I had a comp in mind. I'm forgetting the guy's name.
If the career path keeps going like that, he's gonna be good. So
Um,
that's a good pick.
yeah, good pick. Nothing really to hate about it.
You know,
More,
not
well, I think the Atlanta Yankees, they dropped the ball because I think Morton is the guy to pick.
as do I. Now,
Um,
my only concern it, is that yeah, sure, he's got better power right now. Better contact. His defense is good, just like the same as them.
yeah,
His
that's like a
health,
typical catcher
his
look.
health is 87 though. How much of that is tied up into that peak number, we won't really know.
Um,
So
no, you worried
because
about the wrong
he
thing.
doesn't have the upside as much.
No,
He's 71-84. So while I think he's going to be better, I could definitely see him still just busting out into being a backup catcher. Well, I think he's the best catcher in the draft.
I think he'll be a starter at some point. Who do you remind me of?
Obviously, I think he's going to be a starter too, but that was just my worry.
I kind of lost you for a second, actually. Which was Spark Notes. So what was the word? The health with the if it jumped up the peak. You think?
Oh yeah, like
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
health, that
Yeah,
health
yeah.
rating
Sorry, I just had a
could
little
be.
brain fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have the high upside. I think you're kind of
He bats lefty too, which is
yeah. That's why I love him because he has a huge power. He's gonna be a guy who can mash against a righty. One thing, and this is another reason why people are going to be scratching their like, why the fuck did I not pick Morton? Well, maybe not as maybe not like top 15, but like where Atlanta picked or something like that.
yeah.
Once he jumps, he's going to look quite the player. He
With my
has not
luck, he'll probably drop, but
probably he has not jumped or dropped,
no, I
and
know.
you might be in line for a pretty fancy jump right away.
I hope so.
Yeah, duh. Let's move on to your
Too.
next pick, Ted Brewster. Brewster's Millions. Is that the name? Is that the name of the movie?
Ted Brewster. Oh, okay. I see what you're going with.
Is that the name of the movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. It was Richard Pryor. He's a funny motherfucker. Anyway, Ted Brewster. Um,
I think he has a chance to be like 90 vitals across the board, possibly. I don't know if he will. I think he's gonna be more of the high control, high movement.
You just had the hot take that I will put water on real fast. No, he will not even come close with the power. He reminds me of this picture, and it's sick that I know this. Colorado, Suzuki. He just got traded from.
Is he still on Colorado?
Yeah, Taneo Suzuki. Same picture, same look, same build. He's gonna be solid. Brewster.
Yeah.
But by solid, I mean, who knows if he's gonna be a good ground pitcher or just one of the shitty ones.
That's the problem with this build, especially like if the movement.
Would you kick your fucking dog? What the hell did you just do?
No, she's whining because no one's paying attention to her. So,
bro, pay the fuck attention.
I'm
Your dog,
That's the computer.
your dog she's crying. Lola, what are you doing?
Lola, it's okay.
Lola, come on now.
Actually,
This is
the movement. The
I can't
movement.
I can't even talk to Moga right now. You got a damn dog. Pet her, please.
All right, I'll
Just,
come. Come
just.
here, girl.
I hope she bites you too.
She won't. She doesn't bite. There.
She
And
starts screaming
now
like
Pug.
a bitch.
Now the Pug Tough wants to get petted too. You get to see a softer side of Mikey.
Mikey, tender lovingness and care.
Brewster's control is not too far